Now we're going to look at two examples of cold emails. I'm going to write these emails as if I was going through the interview process with Canary Technologies, and they've asked me to write these cold emails to two separate prospects of my choosing. So what I'm going to have to do is follow the process from start to finish to go out there and find Canary's ICP, find buyer personas, research those people, and write cold emails from scratch. So we'll walk through that process, really just focusing on the cold email portion of this. And in the cold email portion, I'm going to follow this formula here, right? Subject line to grab attention, the body of the email to elicit a response through personalized touch point at the beginning, some benefits, some credibility, and a very simple ask at the end to hopefully get a response from these emails. Again, we're doing all of this from the viewpoint of Canary Technologies. So let's start with the prospecting piece of it. So if I had gone through from scratch, like we did in the earlier videos with defining the ICP of Canary, defining the buyer personas of Canary, I would now have a decent list of prospects that I thought that might be a good fit to sell to as an SDR at Canary. So in this case, what I've done is I've just picked, I went ahead and kind of started looking up these folks on LinkedIn, and I'll show you what I did and how I kind of went through this process. So earlier, I found Mary Rogers. Mary is a general manager at Montage Laguna, and here is her LinkedIn right here. So I always start, whenever I'm writing a cold email, I always start with doing a little research on the prospect. It's much easier to write an email if you know who you're writing it to. Then you can personalize it and make sure that whatever you're saying in the email resonates with the person you're emailing. So I like to start on their LinkedIn. First, scroll down, see how long they've been here. All right, Mary's been here only about 5 months. So immediately that gives me an idea of maybe how I can craft this email. She's been there, she's pretty new, right? Joined back in April, and it's been a crazy year during the pandemic. So maybe I can talk about something about getting off to a good start. Hope things been well. I know it's been crazy. Maybe there's some sort of like personalization I can do there just to show her that I've done my research. I know she's new, and make a connection. Then I'll scroll down, see where else they've worked, see if there's anything I can pull out of here. So definitely some interesting stuff, right? She's worked all over the place. First female general manager since 1954. That's really impressive. Awesome track record here. I'm just looking for anything that kind of sticks out that I might be able to use in an email to personalize. You can come down here and go to the skills endorsement area as well, and the recommendations. And she's got some great recommendations. One of the most professional leaders I've ever worked with, hard worker, respected, yada yada yada. That's awesome. The other place on LinkedIn we can look at is in their activity. So we can go see all activity and see if Mary has posted anything recently. So she's got an article here linked to it looks like someone wrote an article about her resort. This is her article about her coming on full time at Montage. So I would want to read through these articles and see what I can learn about Mary and see if there's anything I can draw upon in my cold email. So use LinkedIn. The other thing I do is just simply Google her. Mary Rogers. I'm getting some random stuff, so I might type in Montage Laguna Beach. And we're probably going to get, if we go to the news section here, we'll probably get some sort of press release. There it is. We can open that up. Not too much. She is relatively new there, but I'd probably want to read through the press release here. See what we can learn about Mary. So they're forced to close their doors during COVID. So after I do that, I might even go, to YouTube and see if whoever I'm researching has any quotes there or any, podcasts maybe they've been on, any videos. But basically, you want to hit all of your sources: LinkedIn, Google, YouTube, to try to learn as much as you can about this person. After you've done that, then I would go and I would start trying to craft that email. So I'm going to show you what I've come up with here, and we can kind of read through how we went about this. So this is the first example email. We'll look at 2 of these. So I went with a pretty maybe clickbaity subject line here, but COVID's a hot topic right now. It's as recording this, where it's August 2021. It's been a crazy year and a half. So it's probably going to it might get a click. And then check-in procedures. It sounds kind of formal. It sounds kind of vague. What's this about? I'm guessing it's going to get a click. Without being too scammy. So then I'm going to lead off with kind of congrats, right? She's, if anyone's kind of within 6 months of the role, it's okay to say congrats still. So congrats on the new GM role this year. Guessing guest experience and safety is top of mind for you with the recent lockdown lifts in Laguna. So I know that they're out of lockdown, straight up lockdown mode, but I'm guessing that safety is still top of mind for her and her team. And that's probably a pretty good guess, given that she's a general manager and things have been nuts this whole year. So then I'm going to lead right into kind of the body of the email here, where I want to lend some credibility, talk about some of the benefits of our app or of our solution, and then go in for an ask. So short, sweet, and to the point. Reaching out because we helped other SoCal teams, Dream and Pinnacle. So I'm going to name drop 2 other LA teams that we work with, or hotels that we work with. We helped these teams move to a contactless check-in process recently. Our app makes it easy for your guests to check in from their phones, 90 seconds, without waiting in crowd lines or coming into contact with hotel staff. I figured someone on your operations team, Daniela, so I looked up who on their operations teams might oversee this. Figured someone on the operations team, Daniela, might be looking into a similar solution. If so, mind forwarding me along so we can figure out if this makes sense for Montage. All the best. So what have I done here? Pretty personalized intro. Now she knows I've looked her up. I know she's new to the role. Awesome. And I've made an inference about something she probably cares about right now. I've also personalized it simply by putting the city name in there. Something as simple as this goes a long way to show them that you've done some research. I didn't say California. I didn't say Los Angeles. I said Laguna, specifically where her hotel is. Reaching out because we help these teams. I personalized it again. I've found local hotels that she probably knows about. These are both luxury hotels right up the coast from her, about 30 minutes away. Move to a contactless check-in process. Again, this is probably top of mind. I picked a hot button item right now in the hotel industry because it's probably top of mind for them. I could have also picked fraud issues. I could have picked chargeback issues. I could have picked guest experience. There's lots of stuff, but I went with the hot button item right now. And then I talked about some of the benefits. Our app makes it easy for your guests to check in right from their phones. 90 seconds. How easy? 90 seconds. Always quantify it if you can. Add numbers. It's great. Without waiting in crowded lines. So another pain point for guests is front lines at the desk or coming in contact with hotel staff. I figured someone in operations team, Daniela. Again, remember, I've done my research. I've gone out there. I've figured out who might be responsible for it. Might be looking at a solution. If so, mind forwarding me along. So I'm not asking you to do anything except for forward this email along so that we can figure out if it makes sense for your hotel, Montage. And again, it's a really easy ask. I'm not asking her to get on the phone with me. She's the GM of a large hotel. She probably doesn't have time to talk with me. But if Daniela gets this email from her, you better bet that Daniela is at least going to read it and probably is going to take action, right? If your boss ever sends you something, it's your responsibility to take some sort of action, read it, maybe reply back. So I'm hoping that this gets a response really from Daniela ultimately. But that's good, right? That's fine. That's who I want to talk to. Now, if Mary might respond to me too, and she might say hey, Mitch, yeah, definitely, this sounds great. We're looking at this. CC to Daniela. That would be awesome. Either way, I think I stand a good chance at getting a response here. Let's look at one more. So the next one I wrote was for John Spear, Hotel Driscoll in San Francisco. So a smaller, kind of more boutique hotel and he's a general manager. So started the same place, started in LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn's great prospecting source. So what we want to do is hit all of the standard areas to search for information. We're going to look in activity. John doesn't have much activity. He's commented on a couple things, no articles, no posts. He was hiring for an open role 7 months ago, but he didn't even mention what role it was, so I'm not even sure if I can use that. I would then go to Google. I'd then go to YouTube, try to find as much as I can on John. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find much on John here. So I just started digging into his past companies, and I realized that John was actually VP and Managing Director at Woodside Hotels. And lo and behold, we know because we did our research on Canary's website that Woodside is one of their customers. So I don't know if John overlapped at all there. I'm guessing not, because Canary's a pretty new company, and John hasn't been at Woodside since 2010, so 10 years ago. But it's okay. I still think I can use that to my advantage. So what I did here is in my personalized message, I'm going to lead with that. So I'm going to make this. I'm just going to go all in on this, right, and make the subject line Woodside family. I bet that gets a response, or at least an open, right? He was there at Woodside for 10 years, so it was clearly important part of his life. Hey John, saw that you ran the Woodside Hotel Group in SF for a number of years. Do you happen to know Keith Long or Jeremy Jones over there? So I'm going to name drop right off the bat here to build some credibility and show that this is a personalized email. He may or may not know Keith and Jeremy, but if Woodside's a customer of me, I'm just going to drop two names of the current team members there that I know, to see if one, he knows them, but again, ultimately I don't really care if he knows them or not. I'm just trying to build some credibility here. Curious because we're working with them to reduce their chargeback rates across their portfolio. Through our digital app, Woodside reduced chargebacks by 76% this past year, while increasing customer satisfaction scores by 23%. So what am I doing here? I built some credibility up top, so I'm going to go right in. I built some credibility up top, so I'm going to go right into the kill here with some benefits to John and his team. And I'm going to lead with chargeback rates. I think John might be experiencing some of that. That's my hunch. And I'm going to quantify the success that Woodside's had as much as possible. So I'm going to use some numbers here. Reduce chargeback by 76%. Now, reducing chargebacks is awesome. That's a big win. But you know what? Our app is so great. It doesn't just reduce chargebacks. It also helps guests have a better experience. So I'm going to throw that in there too, sprinkle it in there. And then I'm going to keep it short and sweet with a simple ask here. Any interest, yes, no, in seeing what this could look like at Hotel Driscoll. Again, John's a general manager. He doesn't have too much time. He's a busy man. I want to keep this ask so simple that John can just reply yes, no, if he's interested in seeing what this could look like at his hotel. So again, I'm personalizing this as much as possible. Do you want to see what it looked like at your hotel? Not just some generic hotel, but your hotel. And again, what I've tried to do is just reduce the amount of words in here as much as possible. You'll see in both of these emails, I've tried to space out the sentences, space out the paragraphs. These are just one-liners here. That makes it a lot easier to read and to absorb. So those are two examples. If I got this interview assignment and asked me to write cold emails, those are the steps I'd go through to write a cold email for Canary. And what we'll do later in another video is actually look at more examples, but those are two simple ones right there.